Hey, I just want to have a vent session. Have you ever just wanted to just quit? Like, just say fuck it all and just not do anything? Like, just rest and release and just let it all go. Stop trying to figure it out and just let things be whatever they are. Like, I am just so over life right now. Um, and not in a negative way or a bad way of like wanting to like self hurt or self harm, just in a sense or a way of like taking a step back from it all and just breathing, right? Like, I have been like massively just anxious. And I don't know if it's my own feelings or if it's the feelings that I'm picking up in the collective energy. But I do know, however, I do know that what I'm feeling is not all mine, right? And I have been finding myself having to push through, right? Like, fight the feelings of what I'm actually feeling and still show up. And that is not easy, right? It's not easy because it's like you're dying to your old self and waking up to something or someone new. And it's like you're having a conversation with your old self and then encouraging yourself with the new part of yourself that's being developed or being, formed or formulated or grown. And when I say that this past week and this week has been like a massive challenge, it really has. And I recently logged into Facebook, which I haven't been on Facebook in like ages, and I saw that someone that was very significant to me in a sense of just her sheer nature of just who she was as a person, she succumbed to her battle of cancer. And it was a shock, right? It was like a massive shock because I was just like, no, bring her back. like, and it was just that surrealism of like recognizing and realizing that this person is gone and I did not have the opportunity or the chance to take a moment to speak to her or say things to her during her ailment or her illness. It really did something to me. And I'll be honest too, I noticed about myself that I tend to back away from people when they start showing signs of like sickness or ailments or just signs of like ending in their demise or like coming to a close or their chapters of their lives coming to a close. And I guess it's more so because I'm empathic, so I can feel it more so than just seeing it firsthand, and to absorb it or to exude the energy that's needed to hold the space. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I shy away from it. And I know that when you don't honor or accept the gifts that God gives you, He will take them away from you, right? Now, I know that I am a healer, right? I know that I am a healer because I am healing myself. I'm working on myself. I'm doing the necessary things I need to do to help myself. And those of you that tap in or chime in and listen to me and are actually able to apply what I'm telling you or what you hear me say, it's helping you too. Like, you're healing too. However, there are times where I have to just fall back because it's too much, right? like I've exuded so much energy to relay that message, or so much energy to like express what needs to be said, that sometimes I give too much energy and now I'm depleted. And so when I find or come across people that are sick, especially people that are dear to me, I do my best to, connect to them in such a way that, you know, I hold space for them to make peace with whatever it is that they need to make peace with, so that they can release and let go. However, lately, in these last couple of months, I have not been wanting to do that. I have not been wanting to hold space for people that I know that are sick, or hold space for people that I know just need that love, or just that need that guidance, or just that need that that extra energy. And it's because my own energy is wonky, right? My own energy is not in the best of I'll say positions right now to be able to pour into persons or people in the manner in which a way I would like to do so. So I recognize when I need time for myself, and I take it, and I allow myself to, you know, be able to just kind of just be in my own energy and be in my own space. And lately I've been in my own energy, in my own space, and I've recognized and realized that there were other people in my energy that I did not give you access to be in my energy, so how dare you, right? So I found myself like rejecting these people, and rejecting this energy, and rejecting the connections and connectivities, and which were attempted to be forced upon me. And I also noticed that this wasn't just happening in my waking world. This was happening in my dream world too, in my sleeping, in my sleepscapes, in my dreamscapes, where I'm dreaming, and I love to have dreams. My dreams are so beautiful. They're so vivid. They're so colorful. And I recently learned that not everyone dreams. Not everyone is able to dream, or go into the dreamscape, or have lucid dreams, or even recall or remember their dreams. And I didn't know that. So I'm learning, right? Oh, yeah, my ear. Excuse me. However, recently in my dreams, there has been people and places that have been coming up, that one, I know that Spirit is making me aware of, and two, people that, or places or things that have been forcing themselves to be in my dreams, to attempt to take hold or drain me of my power, or drain me of my energy, and things of that nature. And so I rebuke you. I rebuke you, because how dare you, right? How dare you infringe upon my free will, infringe upon my comfort, my space? Like, how dare you cross my boundaries? Like, who or what are you that gives you, who do you think you are, basically? What gives you the audacity to think it's okay for you to do that, right? Like, why would you want to do that? Why would another person want to infringe upon another person's sanctity? And I did not understand that. And what I'm learning now is that sometimes your energy is so potent and so fresh and so restorative and so rejuvenating that people need it. They thrive off of it, right? So you have to be very careful and very mindful of your energy and your space, right? And who and what you allow in and or around you. Now, in previous videos, I talked about your portals, right? Oh, excuse me, y'all. I keep going. I'm sorry. I talked about your portals and understanding your portals and the power of your portals and why your portals are important. And excuse me, I'm learning that you have to protect your portals, right? Your portals are your eyes. Your portals are your nose. Your portals are your mouth. Your portals are your ears. Your portals are your hands. Your portals are your feet. Your portals are your anus. Your portals are your private parts, your vagina and your penis. Yes, those are your portals, because they are the openings and orifices in which something or objects can enter into your body. One of the major portals that we don't recognize also, though, is your skin. Right? Your skin has pores. Your skin has openings to it, right? In which your body is able to absorb things through it. So you have to be very careful of what you are, one, surrounding yourself around. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you putting your hands on? What are you putting your feet on? What are you putting your mouth on? Or what are you putting in your mouth? What are you listening to or not listening to? You know, it's so many things that you have to be cognizant and aware of that we don't always pay attention to, that we now need to pay attention to in terms of the spiritual. And I know I'm tapping it now, because what's coming to mind is what the gentleman said in his video, because I watch other readers, and sometimes they are hilarious, and sometimes they give me the guidance that I need in my situations. And then for me, watching readings is like watching the spiritual soap operas, just watching how everything falls out, things that I already have picked up on that I chose not to talk about, or I chose not to like pay attention to. I just watch it. It's like, you know how they say TV stands for television. So when you television, you're telling a vision. You're telling what you want the person to visualize and or see, or you are projecting the message that you want the person to understand and or see or be, you know, exposed to. So you have to be very careful about what you're watching when you're watching, you know, TV. However, at the same time, I watch readings because for me it's like this spiritual soap operas. And so now I'm like, okay, do I really want to be engaged in the drama? Yeah, no. Miss me with the bullshit, basically, right? Miss me with all the shenanigans, all the games, all the gimmicks, all the mind tricks and things, like the soothsayers. I'm really getting to a point where I hate to say it, however, but I'm really isolating. And what I'm finding, though, in the isolation, what I'm finding in the isolation is it's a lot harder to make connections with people now, right? Because when you start to pull back from what is around you and you're starting to recognize the things that make sense versus the things that don't make sense, or the things that, you know, just it just flows differently. Like when you start seeing things, for what it really is, you don't really want to engage as much anymore, right? And it's difficult because it's like when you pull away from the connection to others, it's almost like you are isolating yourself from society, which in essence you really kind of are. And so it's like a thin line, because it's like, how do I walk through this life and not be connected to what's going on around me, yet still be cognizant and aware of what's going on around me, and still be in tune with what's going on around me? It's a lot to try to, I'm not going to say try, cancel try. It's a lot to process all at once. And it's a lot to process at once. And to accept it all is difficult, right? Because when you start pulling yourself back, people start really showing their true colors. They start either talking about you, gossiping about you, or saying that you're acting funny or acting different, when in actuality you're just paying attention now, right? You're recognizing shit for what it really was, and you're like, oh yeah, that's not for me. Or, oh yeah, that doesn't, I don't like that. That doesn't flow with me. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel right. I see that differently, or I don't agree. And so now you're finding yourself attempting to figure out, how do I fit in to anything, because everything that I once was fitting into is a lie, right? Or it's like a perception or a notion of how we looked at the world, and now it's different. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. People don't sound the same. The things that people were saying don't resonate anymore. So it's like I'm stuck. I'm lost. I'm confused. What do I do? How do I move forward? And so what I am learning right now, because I have gone through so many awakenings and I feel like I'm currently going through one now. I'm now floating in this just space by myself, and it's just like, do I want to come back down to earth? No, I don't. However, at the same time, I also don't want to be alone and be by myself. So it's like, what do I do? How do I build relationships now, knowing what I now know about my consciousness and my awareness of things, right? And what I'm learning is that excuse me, I'm sorry, I keep yawning. The more that I begin to embrace myself, and the more that I begin to love on me and really just like accept myself as being different, the more that I am actually able to really just love me and shine brighter. And sorry guys. Okay. The more that I'm learning that the birds of a feather will flock together, right? I'm recognizing the people that are like me, that are floating up there with me. I'm starting to see it, right? Like, I used to be so scared to embrace the fact that I was clairaudient, that I could hear things that other people could not hear. I could see things that other people could not see. I was very clairvoyant. I would have premonitions, like I would see stuff before it happened, and then it would happen and it would freak me out, and I would just be like, okay, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want people to think I'm crazy or think that I lost my mind. And then I started finding out that it's more people out there like me. I didn't find that out though until I started accepting the fact that I was different. And I talk about a lot of this in my beginning videos when I first started recording on my channel, and I was talking about, like, you know, just really accepting all of me and accepting myself and just not feeling bad and recognizing and realizing that there is only one me. Excuse me. There's only one me, and yes, there is only one me, and yes, I am created differently. However, there are other people who have the same gifts. And like I said, birds of a feather will flock together. Your tribe will find you when you start embracing who you are. When you start standing on your own 2 feet, like really, really standing on business and truly just being yourself and truly just being honest with who you are and not hiding anymore, or second guessing or doubting yourself, and just embracing all of you, the people around you that are supposed to see you will see you. And the people around you who don't understand, they're supposed to not understand. They're supposed to kind of be in the dark, because you are the lighthouse, right? You are the catalyst to their change. You are the teacher in that moment. You are the spotlight. You're standing in a realm by yourself. And excuse me, I'm sorry. I was not yawning before I turned this video on. This is crazy. It's not going to be easy to be seen by others. And what I'm learning now is to see myself through others' eyes. Like those people, like recently this week, excuse me, I had to present information, right? And it was a hard task to do. Not the presentation itself, however, the confidence that was needed and that had to be exuded in that moment to express what I had to express and share what I had to share. Even though I knew my shit from top to bottom, left to right, back and forth, I knew exactly what I was going to talk about. I knew exactly what I was doing. However, to have to do that in front of a group of people that I did not know, and that, I was so nervous, right? I was tongue-tied. I was repeating myself. And I had to stop and say, sis, you belong here. If you did not belong here, they would not have allowed you to be placed here, right? If you did not belong here, they would not have allowed you to, they would have entrusted you with this task, with this job. And so as I presented and I gave this information and I shared, what was crazy to me was the feedback, right? I was not expecting the feedback that I received. I was not expecting the accolades. I was not expecting the admiration. I was not expecting the, aha, oh, now I get it. Oh, you're awesome. You did a great job of explaining this information, because I had no clue. I did not understand. So it was just like, oh shit, I did that, right? It's like the realization of, oh, you really do see me. Oh, you really do get it. Oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It was an aha moment for me to recognize where I was walking in that imposter syndrome, where I was thinking and feeling and believing that I wasn't sure, or I did not believe or didn't think that I deserved to be there. And in actuality, I did, right? Now, fast forward to actually today, because that was yesterday. Today, I had to present again, right? However, I want to say 15 to 30 minutes before I had to present, I was given information, and it threw my whole mindset off. And I was just like, okay, I am a very transparent person. And I was supposed to be presenting a demo lesson with my partner, which is a teaching artist. And in the middle of the demo, I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, no. And I paused the whole lesson. And my teaching partner, my teaching artist was looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, right? And I instantly was like, look, I have to apologize to you, because I'm a very transparent person. And once I get information and I'm told this information, my knowledge now changes, and how I choose to share this information has to be accurate to what my knowledge is. And for me to present this information knowing that this is not going to be accurate was a falsity to me. And I refused to work or move in a falsity. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know I'm going to get some repercussions or consequences for doing this. And I know that my teaching artist is probably going to go tell on me. However, I don't give a fuck. I'm not about to stand in front of all these people and lie, or stand in front of all these people and sugarcoat the truth, right? So I had to make an executive decision in that moment. And I bring this up because there are going to be moments in your life where you're going to have to make the difficult decision, regardless of how everybody else is going to feel. I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to be able to be comfortable and confident in my own damn skin, in my own energy. I don't want to move forward wondering or thinking to myself, I should have said this, or I could have did this, or maybe I would, if I would. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so I was asked to not share the change that was being made. and to let them figure it out. And I was just like, no, why would I proceed with a demo knowing that this is not what is going to happen for the next 5 to 6 weeks? Like, no, I'm not going to pretend in front of you. I'm not going to fake in front of you. I'm not going to sugarcoat in front of you. I don't give a fuck how uncomfortable it makes me feel. I would rather be able to sleep at night knowing that I told you the truth. So in the middle of this demo, I was just like, look, I have to apologize to you. I can't continue. Yes, we're doing this. And I'm noticing that a lot of you have questions as we're moving through this lesson. And I know that you guys are seeing us jump between 2 content areas and things of that nature. And you're trying to figure out, how do we make it fit? And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't, right? It fits to a degree. However, it's not going to be extremely cohesive. And so because I know that it's not going to be extremely cohesive, I'm learning that there are ways, although there's not perfect cohesion, there is still space for growth. There is still space for you to be able to share. And there is still space for you to be able to take in and also like give out what needs to be given or what needs to be received, so that you can still evolve, so that you can still grow, so that you can still change, right? Just because a person does not understand you or does not perceive or pick up what you're putting down does not mean that what you're giving out is wrong. It just means that they do not know how to process that information. So I always say to my students, make it make sense, right? And when I say that, I mean, make it make sense to you. How can you take the information that you have been given, or that you have been allotted, or that you have come into awareness or consciousness of? How can you take that information and make it work to your best ability, or to the best of your ability, so that you can still show up and be the best version of you? Not for everyone else, for you. Right? Because at the end of the day, you still have to live with you. Whether other people live with you or not, you still have to live with you. You still have to be confident and comfortable with you and the decisions and the choices that you are choosing to make. And if you can't find comfort in your decisions or in your choices, then you need to make a change, right? You need to reevaluate yourself. You need to recognize where you need to do something different. Because if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. You have to figure out how it makes sense. How can I take what was given to me and apply it, or where can I apply it to my life so that I can function better than what I have been functioning before? And that is really, really pertinent and important to your healing process, right? Your healing growth, your healing modality. Because we all have different communication styles. We all have different love languages. We all have different personalities and perspectives and vantage points and viewpoints of how we show up in the world. We all have different ways of how we share and or give and or receive, right? We're just different in that regard, and that's what makes us special, right? Our differences are what makes us special, right? However, our adaptability is also key, right? Because if you cannot adapt, you cannot change. And life is all about changing. And I find that we are so adamant to push back against change because we found comfortability in our chaos, or comfortability in the menagerie. I don't know where that just came from. But we found comfortability in that oasis that we've created, right? Of whatever the fuck our lives or our situations are. And sometimes that comfortability is a detriment to ourselves And not just a detriment to ourselves, but a detriment to others. Because sometimes in those comfortable moments, we enable others and we enable ourselves, right? We stagnate ourselves. We stop ourselves from growing. We stop ourselves from changing. We stop ourselves from evolving. We stop ourselves from being different because we want to be accepted. We stop ourselves from expressing ourselves because we don't want to be judged. And the scripture says, judge not lest ye be judged, right? And if you're judging, understand that you're going to be judged according to how you are judging, right? Like, it's another scripture that says, don't basically, like, how can you point out the splinter in your brother's eye when you have a plank in your own? It's the same thing. It's like the pot calling the kettle, right? And in that sense, we're all sinners. It says we were born into iniquity. We were born into hell. We were born into sin. It is our jobs to pick up our own crosses and bear them. That means be accountable for what you have done and what you have put out into the atmosphere, into the world, and actually deal with the repercussions and consequences of it. And sometimes those repercussions and consequences are not, they're not what we want, and not what we expect, or not what we believe or deserve or think that we deserve to receive. Yet you have to understand that what goes around comes around, right? So I'm going to stop here because I had to get this out. This was like a venting session for me. However, I just need people to understand, walk in your truth, walk in your light, speak what's really on your heart, speak what's really on your mind, deal with the consequences and repercussions that come along with it, and continue to move. I'm here. Pick up the pieces. Still pick up the pieces. You know, just because things don't roll out or go out or go according to the way that you think they should go, does not mean that it wasn't supposed to happen, right? It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's right. It's just what it is. So you have to learn to just, rock with that, right? And so, I don't know. I had to get that out. I had to, because it was just sitting on me, and that I had like this knot of anxiety in my gut, and I just was tired of holding it. Right? If you are nervous about doing something, the only way to get over that nervous energy is to face it head on. What am I nervous about? And nerves come from fear, doubt, obsessing over things, just face it. Just do the hard thing and deal with whatever comes from it. You know what I'm saying? And don't necessarily, because a lot of times we like to think about it and it's like, oh, it's going to be bad, it's going to be horrible, or they might do this, they might do that. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what the reaction or the response is going to be, or what the reaction or response you may get until you do it. Like, I'm hearing we jump to assumptions, and I was always taught that when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. So stop assuming and just do it and see what happens, right? Try it and see what the outcome is going to be. Stop obsessing over what the outcome should be or what you want the outcome to be, and just act. You will never know until you actually try, until you show up. So that is my message for today. I had a couple of other videos that I recorded that I did not even know that I did not upload. So I'm going to go back and review the videos that I recorded and determine whether or not I want to still upload them or not, because I don't know if they are, I don't know if they're going to be pertinent or prevalent now. And even whether they are or aren't, I'll decide based off of what I'm feeling. I'm going to move off of what I'm feeling, because I'm big on that. If it doesn't feel right, I'm not doing it, right? However, just because it doesn't feel right doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean I shouldn't try. However, I do trust my intuition very heavily. And so if my intuition or spirit really lays it on my heart, hey, don't do that, I listen, right? So it's a thin line to walk. I will say that. It is a very thin line to walk between your intuition and like following your gut feeling and, you know, making a conscious decision. It's a lot of it. And so like you really have to like gauge it. You really have to like really gauge it. And if you're really, really unsure, take the time to sit with yourself. If you really can't come up with a logical, analytical, like just realistic reason, try it and see what happens. I'm not saying be impulsive, yet take the risk, right? Because that's the only way you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to like see what the outcome is going to be. Take the risk, you know? So that is my message for today. I hope that this resonates with whomever or whatever it's supposed to resonate with. Peace, Ashe, I'm going to say. Thank you for joining my spiritual healing journeys, Lotus Evolutions 369. It's your girl, Cynthia, a.k.a. Lotus on the track. It's your girl, Lotus on the track. I'm going to leave it there. And always remember to thine own self be true, because who else can you be true to? Right? So with that being said, peace. Check in the deuces.